welcome to Vinyl or Die. This is the third edition, and this week we're going to be reviewing Jesse Malin's record called Sunset Kids, which was just playing there in the background before it got stopped. So this is a fantastic record, and it's been one that I've been listening to a lot during the COVID break. So first record in 4 years. It's produced by Lucinda Williams and her husband Tom Overby. And just a little background on Jesse. This is a guy who's kind of, for me, has kind of been under the radar, and I've seen and heard and read about him, but I really hadn't paid much attention. His first band in New York was called Heart Attack. Band members like 12 to 14 years old at the time. They were playing at CBGBs with Beastie Boys and Bad Brains and stuff like that. So legit punk rock band. And then after that, he was in this band called D-Generation, which in the 90s was like, when grunge and Weezer and all this stuff was happening, these guys were playing just straight ahead rock and roll, New York style, kind of, reminded me a little bit of New York Dolls, just, good time driving rock and roll. And they did some tours with Rancid, they did some tours with Green Day, but still never very big. And then after that, the band kind of fizzled out. Well, and what was really cool about D-Generation, right? They had a record produced by Tony Visconti, who did everybody from Thin Lizzy to David Bowie, and then another record produced by Rick Ocasek, which is probably the more popular lunch record there, right? So the thing that the band never really had much commercial success, and they kind of fizzled out. And then Jesse started doing some singer-songwriter stuff, had a record produced by Ryan Adams. I'd seen and heard and read some stuff and never really paid much attention, like I said, but this new record is really cool. And he's always been a great songwriter, and great band leader. The thing that I think has made it so that nobody really knows about him, I looked at his tour schedule. He's never been to Austin. I looked at all his tour history. I've seen it. He's played with Alejandro, not in Austin. He's played with a lot of the people we love. He goes to Europe a lot. And for the most part, has never really been like somebody that's really taken off in the scene that we see around here. But he's fits in.
More importantly, has he played in LA? I mean,
I'm sure he has, right? Right. But there's these songwriters, and I kind of think about we have Alejandro here. He's kind of under the radar on the national level, but he's super big amongst the singer-songwriter crowd. LA's got Peter Case, Chuck Prophet out of San Francisco, and New York has got Jesse, right? These are these dudes who are just, they're phenomenal at their craft. They got great bands. The critics love them. They don't sell a lot of records, and they just don't become big famous people. And I kind of like that. So the major critique that everybody says is like, there's like 3 or 4 songs on here that already appeared on other records or singles, right? So there's some rehashed material, but fuck that. There's like 14 songs on the record, and there's lots of new stuff on here. And I really think that under the guidance of Lucinda and some really solid production, that she's really kind of made it stand out, and it's very, very cool. There's 3 songs that I really, really like that I wanted to highlight. One is Meet Me at the End of the World Again. I think it's a real timely song about survival and overcoming, which is kind of, natural in this time frame. It's got this real cool kind of Lou Reed, New York stuff. I mean, Jesse's very New York. He sings about New York. He sings about characters in New York. And then it's got this great big sing-along chorus, right? So that's one. Shining Down, which is about Tom Petty. It could be a damn Tom Petty song. You listen to it closely, it sounds like, I Won't Back Down or something. You can hear Petty singing it. Apparently he was at Tom Petty's last show, and ironically enough, the opening act was Lucinda Williams, right? So comes around full circle. But my absolute most favorite song on the record is Dead On. It's a solid rocker. It's almost a duet. Lucinda sings some lines. It's got this great guitar hook. And for the first time, this is a record that I've listened to. It's kind of been in the background and grown on me. But for the first time today, I put the headphones on and listened to it. man, there's all kinds of crazy shit going on in that song. There's this weird keyboard in the left-hand track that's like doing all these really swirly sound and stuff, and like this weird kind of analog synth happening. So this is a record that, you know, I've really kind of just really fallen in love with, and it didn't start off as like, hey, this is a great record automatically. It's one of those ones that's kind of grown and evolved on me, which is what, you know, it's kind of lost in today's time of instant music. So what do you guys think?
I would point out one thing. That last show that Tom Petty played was at the Hollywood Bowl, so there's a
There you
little
go. Oh yeah, he did play. You know,
for LA friends.
well, who knows if
Thank
he
you.
played? He might have been just hanging out there. So
Yeah. I'll be quite honest with you. The first couple of times I listened to this record, I found it to be paltry at best, and I was kind of hesitant. A lot of times for me, music, I have to be in the mindset paltry. I don't know. I just found that word. It was word of the day. I think I got it in an email. But a lot of times I have to be in like a certain mind frame or mindset to take on new music. A lot of times I just listen to things and pick up on things that I actually like just randomly. But the more I listened to it, the more I started getting into it and started thinking about. It started reminding me a lot of a time period where there were a lot of guys doing that same thing. Because the first time I heard him was on that record. What was it? Something. Was it Red or what was that? No, Heat. Big Heat.
Heat.
mm-hmm.
Heat. Yeah, the Heat. So I had that record and I liked it. And that's around 2003, 2004. And I started thinking about it. And there's some stuff on there that reminds me of Ryan Adams, he was starting to happen around that time. Josh Rouse, I kind of felt that vibe in some of the songs as well. Joseph Arthur, who is on that record, this record particularly. A few other guys, and Ben Queller was doing some cool stuff. So there's some cool songwriters doing some things, and that kind of forced me to go back to that era and start listening to those guys again. So that's what I really took from this record, and I think there's some cool stuff. You know, of course, having listened to Williams in your camp is not a bad thing to have at all. And we're getting close to 8 minutes, so I'm going to throw this over to Mr. Paul.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you guys. It's a 10-minute review, so the 30 seconds, here I go.
Hey, play some music.
You got 2 minutes. You stop yapping.
I mean, I like this record. The first song really just takes you in. The Room 13. There's a cool video for it. Could be a Lucinda song. Could be, you know, a Ryan Adams song. And this record gives me that sort of like mid-tempo melancholy rock thing that is a sweet spot for me that I really dig. And I guess now since Ryan Adams has sort of been canceled, I'm glad we have Jesse Malin to sort of pick up the mantle. And you know, I guess I read some stuff. He said that Lucinda really pushed him, and you know, he had to bring his A game because he has so much respect for her. And you can tell. It's interesting to me that he's so New York and this is so Americana. You know, it almost seems like they don't quite mix, right? And even his look with his, you know, his hat and his black hair, and you would think that it doesn't work, but it does work.
But his early stuff wasn't as Americana, so it's kind of interesting. You can kind of grow and move into that direction, which is cool.
Yeah, and then I guess he went there with Lucinda, and that's great. I was really interested to hear that Lucinda and Jesse are both friends with Joey Ramone. I found that to be really interesting in my research. That thing that you sent about the song Shane, Mark, really cool that Jesse was friends with Shane from the Pogues and played in his 60th birthday party. I don't know why he's going to throw shade at Bernie Taupin. I mean, come on, Jesse. Lyricists deserve a little respect.
30 seconds.
Favorite songs. My favorite song is Gray Skies Go Blue. Check that song out. I really like When You're Young. When You're Young sounds like classic Ryan Adams song.
That's one right there.
I would go. I'm not going to buy this on vinyl. I'm going to go to my friends and record it on tape, and I'm probably going to listen to it a lot. What about you guys?
I'm going to go to my friends and steal it.
Mark?
Yeah. I've got to stream it on Spotify, but, you know, I'd buy it on vinyl because I really like it.
I do. I like it too.
Right.
Just it's a high mark when you only have like one record a week you can buy on vinyl because of your allowance. So.
All right, we're at 10
All right.
minutes, gentlemen.
All right. Thanks everybody. Thank you
Boom,
guys.
another one done.